get started. Tonight we will continue with the conclusion framework we discussed in Class 1 and Class 2. We will talk a little bit about it as we go through the class. We will also add some components to your presentation style and presentation skill, those being some body language components, specifically movement, gesture with your hands, and also eye contact. We will do the 60-second prepared summaries that you have brought to class. We'll talk about them in terms of how effectively they accomplish the conclusion goals we've discussed before. And then we'll also think about, well, how did eye contact supplement that or detract from that? Or how did body language help reinforce the point? So let's just quickly review some of the conclusion stuff we talked about. We talked about conclusions being the thing that you all do as business students. As Rutgers business students, you are going to be called upon to present valuable conclusions. Less and less you will be the people who just list data. So you may use data to support your conclusions, but when you get to the important thing, your audience is going to be wondering, all right, what's the takeaway? What did the smart business student come up with that we paid all this money to hire, or we sent to Rutgers Business School to come up with something good? So you can use verbal and nonverbal cues to indicate that you're getting to the important point. You can just say, the conclusion is, my takeaway is. You can pause. You can decrease your rate of speech. You could move a couple of steps to the other side of the room. You could use a visual aid that says your conclusion is. These are things that are simple, but will guide your audience. And it's tempting to forget these simple things if you get up and you get nervous and you just want to rush through your presentation. All right, so what else? We also talked about this idea of conclusion giving you a little extra spark in terms of purpose. Remember that exercise we did at the start of Class 1, where we said, first just have the presenter list the difference between the iPhone and the Android. And then the second thing we did is now have the presenter actually try to convince you that one is better than the other. It adds an extra incentive for the speaker. You have a reason to be talking. You're trying to convince someone of something that you think is important. And it brings an extra takeaway for the listener as well. What value can they get out of this presentation? The value is they can get your take on which phone they should buy, rather than just a list of data that may or may not be relevant to them. We also talked about how focusing on purpose can decrease anxiety. People get nervous when they make presentations. I get nervous when I make presentations. It's a very common fear. And when we get nervous, we tend to think about us being judged, all right? Am I saying the words the right way? How are you looking at me? Why are you judging me in a way that's based on those characteristics? Whereas I might be better off to think about what I'm doing for you that is valuable. Am I accomplishing my goal of giving you the information you need? Am I accomplishing the goal of convincing you that this change is important? The more I think about that, the less I'll think about me and me being judged. The more I think about that, the more I'll truly realize that any presentation is often about the value that your audience gets. The audience is not there to judge you, they're there to get something valuable. So conclusion helps us with that as well. Gives us an extra spark, decreases anxiety, and is often what you will be doing as a business student. So with that, tonight we will do these 60-second summary presentations as a means of practicing that conclusion framework. And as I mentioned, I will make some comments on body language. We will do a number of them. We'll think about how well they accomplished conclusion stuff. And then I will throw in some body language exercises to see if we can use that to enhance. So we'll go through maybe 5 or 10 of them. And then I'll start with some movement exercises and some eye contact exercises to get everyone involved. Through this, I may have people come back up and do their presentation again to see if these eye contact exercises helped. And then we'll just continue through adding more and more people in. All right. Any questions? Of course you don't have any questions because you don't have any idea what I'm going to do. Yes, Al.
So on this 60-second presentation, is it as if we've already given the presentation and we're now recapping? And
Sure.
also for those of us that didn't go last week, do we pretend to act as if the group has already heard it?
I could go either way. I guess I would look at this as real. So if we didn't hear your presentation last week, then we didn't hear it. So now you're trying to give us in 60 seconds an important takeaway. So I would look at it that way. Yeah, instead of saying, well, if you had heard my presentation, then you would understand that this is. So I would look at it as real. Any other questions? Did everyone get one of these? I saw a couple of people. Okay, everyone's got it? All right, so let me get some notes. Let's go with, Evan, Nick, Al, and Jameson. We'll start with those four. Good to go, Evan.
Excellent. All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about superhero movies and how great they are. So, superhero movies have their history based on around World War II's were sort of the golden era of comic books and serials, superhero serials, especially Superman and Batman, the old TV shows. They came up through the 40s and 50s. You had a little bit of them. Every now and then you'd see a movie come out. It was really more of a foreign phenomenon, particularly in Italy in the 60s. They had their spike of superhero movies. But you don't see them all that much in America until about the early to mid-90s. That's when you start seeing a real steady stream of them climbing through. And we're going to concentrate on 95 to up to now. You see, back in the early times, it was 1, maybe 2 superhero movies a year. Up to now, you've seen spikes as many as 8 in a year, and really about 5 per year these days. And, well, it's weird, but it's not so weird when you look at the numbers, because how much they're grossing, adjusted for inflation, has climbed from $200 million a year up to about $1.4 billion a year from 1995 to 2016. And the market share has gone from about 0 to 2% of your moviegoers up to a projected 30% for 2016. Now, that speaks well for the people who are making these movies, right? It also means they're probably going to be making more, which is awesome if you're like me, if you enjoy these movies. There are those who say, oh, they're getting too weird, they're running out of ideas, but I don't think there's any merit to that because the profits haven't shown any sign of slowing. So get out there and support your superhero movies. Thank you.
Awesome, good stuff. All right, just real quick, does someone want to make a comment on his, you can go ahead and have a seat, Evan, on the conclusion and the clarity of it? Yes, Saeed.
I like that he told me to do something at the end.
Okay.
I know what to do.
Fantastic. All right, so what was his conclusion?
Go watch the
Go watch superheroes. Excellent. All right, so good conclusion. Lots of good gestures. I feel like we could build on those gestures by using that good open body language you have and just settling those hand gestures down a tiny bit. And we may come back to that. All right, Nick.
Just start whenever.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Lara, and today I'm going to give you 5 easy steps to increase your LinkedIn presence. Step 1, become a member if you haven't already. Step 2, maintain a professional attitude at all times since it is a professional social networking site. Step 3, you want to connect with people that you know and make sure that you have value in your connections. Step 4, actively participate in group discussions. And step 5, keep your profile current at all times. If you do these 5 steps, you will undoubtedly increase your LinkedIn presence.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. I love it. I love it. Clear, to the point. We've got value. Fantastic. Who did I say next? Al. Yes.
So thanks everyone for coming to today's career planning workshop. I'm glad I got to catch you today as we're going through our MBA programs here, because I've found out and looked at 2 different career paths one of a director level position at local companies as a director, as I said, and the other career path is to be a rock star. And I really compared the two and wanted to find out what the benefits of both were, what the costs were. I think you're gonna discover that the way to go here is really to become a rock star, folks. So in looking at this and looking at salaries of like an average director with an MBA degree, you're looking at a salary of somewhere about $140,000, $160,000 if you're going from finance to HR, et cetera. Whereas if you're looking at an average salary of a rock star, a superstar in today's day and age, you're talking about $70 to $80 million a year. Some of the top rock stars, Bruce Springsteen, for instance, this year will make $80 million. So quite a comparison between the two. So the other area I want to look at is what's the investment that's required? What is the education or the training? So for the MBA students, looked at a couple Ivy League schools. Average MBA program for Ivy League schools is about $160,000 per year. Now, if you compare that to the cost of most rock stars who have gotten their starts with $2,500, maybe $5,000 of training in voice lessons or guitar lessons, the return on investment is quite more beneficial to become a rock star. So, in conclusion, I would just like to say that the return on investment from an MBA student to go on to become a director is about 25-fold. After putting down about $150,000, you can earn about $4 million over a 20-year career, versus the rock star who puts in about $5,000, makes about $1.25 billion in their lifetime. So my advice to all you folks here today is to go to the Scarlet Pub for karaoke night and be the rock star.
Good, awesome conclusion. Great controlled movement. But to see how he was really relaxed with his body language, he was just had open, calm body language, and every once in a while he would walk to the other side of the room, open, calm body language again, and great eye contact as well. Now, while I love the conclusion and it was really funny, I do have a logical problem with it. And I think we can go back to something I talked about in class 1. And I love chances to reminisce on class 1, because sometimes no one's ever questioned me on this, but I always wonder when I talk about logic and premise and logical conclusions that people are going to think I'm talking about something that's too simple. So does anyone share that thought in terms of the logic of his conclusion? Ever?
So there's a lot more invested in becoming a rock star besides money. It's thousands and thousands of hours that you wouldn't necessarily get that. Is that what you're looking for? I'm not sure.
Good. I agree with that. That was not what jumped out to me, though. I mean, not that was
Doing
not.
karaoke night is not being a rock star. So,
Stability?
No, with the return on investment,
Sure. What do you got?
well, that's you better start practicing the karaoke to become a rock star.
Okay.
Don't you need some voice?
What?
Voice.
I overlooked the talent.
Voice? Oh, you need to have talent.
Basically, what people like you are looking for.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well. All right. What jumped out to me because of the way he framed it, the return on investment.
He talked about return on investment being 25-fold, whereas he didn't say what fold it is for becoming a rock star.
Okay, what bothered me is he didn't say the chance of success of becoming a rock star. Am I the only one that was bothered by that? So if your chance of becoming a rock star is 1%, then your expected earnings is 1% of that $1 billion. And if your chance of becoming a director level after getting your Rutgers MBA is like 90%, then you get 90% of that. But, all right, so no one else agrees. We'll sit down.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamison Korb, and today I'm going to be talking to you in the next minute about why you should ignore the unemployment number and why it's complete bunk. Today, the unemployment number that is widely publicized in the media really leaves out a lot of key numbers and populations that are at the foundation of what unemployment is. People who are so discouraged that they're not even looking for work are not counted in the unemployment number. And that's the same with people who are only taking part-time jobs because they can't find a full-time job. They're not included in that number at all. Even 2 weeks ago, we saw the unemployment number decrease, even though the number of people out of work increased. Doesn't make much sense at all. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, who reports these numbers, has a very selective way of maintaining their records and counting who is employed and who is unemployed. Because of all these reasons, you really can't trust the statistic, should throw it out, and turn off your mind when you hear it being reported in the news media. Thanks.
Awesome. Powerful conclusion. I noticed just a tiny bit of leaning to the side. Maybe we can straighten that out with one or two of the body language exercises we do. All right. Daniel, Saeed, and Emily. Do you need a minute? Are you chewing?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Boulos. I'm a postdoc fellow at Bristol Myers Squibb in Oncology Medical. And this evening, just in 1 minute, want to quickly peruse through establishing rapport. So first, I'm going to go through what rapport is. Then I'll go through why it's important and some of the values of it. And then I'll briefly run through some methods or how you can establish rapport. So first, what is rapport? Rapport is the kind of crossroads or connection between the relationship you have and the relationship between communicating well and then arguably a little bit more important, understanding the other party in the discussion. So that's what rapport is, the relationship between those two. Why is it important? Just want to quickly survey the room. How many of you see value in having a direct connection with your colleagues and being likable amongst your colleagues, having a direct impact or relationship between how well you do in the workplace? Yes, no? So that's undoubtedly a huge impact as to career development and ways to do better in the workplace. So how can you establish rapport? The third one. There's many ways out there how people can establish rapport, and there's a lot of different methods, none really validated, but I'll set forth one in the acronym of FORM. So F, standing for family. When you have 30 seconds with someone, try to learn a little bit about their family and show genuine interest in their roots and their upbringing. O, that's their occupation. Try to learn about what they do. A lot of times people are very enthusiastic and excited to share about what they feel passionate about. So that's the O, occupation. What's the third letter? R, relationship. Form, so relationship, or excuse me, recreation. Learn about what they do for fun. Learn about their hobbies, some of their travel, things they like to do outside of work. Try to get to know them on an interpersonal level. And lastly, M, message. What is the key takeaway for them? How can you offer value to them? How can you bring something to them that is of interest to them? So in wrapping, we kind of went through what rapport is. We went through why it's important, and you guys have attested as to the value you see in the workplace. And we went through a very brief method of how you can establish rapport in the workplace with the acronym of FORM. Thank you.
Fantastic. Daniel did a number of great things from a presentation standpoint. He had a good, stable stance, and initially he didn't move at all. Just stood here and we listened to him. He had great eye contact, and he also used, maybe you saw this on the video of class 1, or maybe you just did it by yourself. He used a presentation motif, 1, 2, 3, and we knew he had 3 points, and he had a physical reminder of that to guide us through. He also did something at the end which even added to that, is he started to move a little bit. So by remaining stable at the beginning, I think we're able to concentrate on what he was saying, and his limited movement at the end drew us in a little bit more. What do y'all think? Do you agree? All right. Who is next? See.
Say Ketchman.
Now, I remember when I was in high school, I used to go with some of my friends. I went to one of my friend's house. He invited us over for some pizza. He said, I want to show you guys something. So back then, it was VHS tape. So he put in a VHS tape. It was a blurry black and white video. And then I remember watching it and saying, this is amazing. What it was the first time me watching a videotape of Muhammad Ali fighting. As you guys know, just about 2 weeks ago, he passed away. And you hear the word the greatest boxer ever. And you know, until you watch one of his tapes, until you watch one of his videos of his fighting, you're really not going to understand what that is. My point of this 60 seconds is to get you guys to, at the end of this, pull up your phones, go on YouTube, and watch one of the fights of Muhammad Ali. And you'll start to see why he was such an invigorating figure, why he really changed the landscape of boxing, and why there hasn't been anyone since him, even someone with a name like Mike Tyson, not even close to what Muhammad Ali accomplished. And you also see why all of his opponents, even though he beat them all up, even though he stole the titles from them by winning, even though he used to trash talk them a lot, all of them, after he died, said he was the greatest beyond any doubt. So after this, go, pull up your phones, watch some of the videos of Muhammad Ali, specifically against Joe Frazier or George Foreman, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Thank you.
Awesome. Interesting subject, and it's a subject that Saeed seems passionate about, and it's also a bit emotional because Muhammad Ali just died. But I think we can add to your presentation with a little more focused eye contact. That will slow you down a little bit and build on that intense feeling you have for this subject. I also noticed with the body language just a little bit of leaning back and to the side that maybe we can straighten out with a movement exercise. All right, Emily.
Hi, my name is Emily Ayala. Like you, I'm a business student at Rutgers Business School. I'm also a lifelong learner of the Spanish language. I want to talk to you about how learning the Spanish language will help you become a better business student and become a better business professional afterwards. Any business professional will need to use language to communicate with a large number of people in a very personable way. The Spanish language has 400 million speakers across the globe. It also has 12.85% of Americans speak the Spanish language as a primary or secondary language. This gives you a large number of people that you could potentially make more connections with in your workplace. Learning the Spanish language as a business professional will help you become a more engaging worker and team member. You'll be able to collaborate, connect with more people. Also, across the globe, half the people around the world speak more than one language. In the United States, only a quarter of the people do. So that'll give you a leg up on the competition. You'll bring something to the table that nobody else can. Speaking the Spanish language will help you become a more engaging business professional as well as more competitive in your field. Thank you.
Great. Great casual, relaxed movement that I think helped. Good eye contact. I think I might slow down the eye contact just a little bit, which I'll talk about later, and just a little bit longer at each person rather than sort of a quick look at each person. So I'll talk about more, but I think that might help your presentation. All right, so let's go Vishali, Lei, and Alex.
Hi everyone, my name is Vishali Pataria. I work in drug safety, so the topic I chose was related to that was on medication errors, and especially medication errors in the hospital environment. One of the other reasons I chose this topic is that a while back a close friend of mine was in the hospital, and it turned out that she developed a very allergic reaction due to the medication errors. So I started looking into this topic. Did you know that medication errors are the third most leading cause of death in the US? Yeah, you know that, but I did not know that. I was surprised to hear that. So I started looking more into it, and I realized that when you look at the medication errors, they actually occur at the time of dispensing, they occur at the time of administration, at time of discharge. And I looked at a couple of studies, and I realized that the most of the errors are at the time of dispensing or discharge. So why I'm sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you is that the reason is that we should be vigilant. So if you have a family member that is in a hospital, or God forbid you are in a hospital for something, please have somebody with you. Please have somebody be your advocate. And it's not because you're going to question the therapy or the medications you're going to get, but it's for somebody just to have, double check. Healthcare industry is doing something from their side too. They have IT tools, they have done, quality control checks. But just from our side, from the consumer and patient side, have somebody with you who's just double checking medications, understanding why they're prescribing this medication and how that you should take them. So that's all. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Very important, serious topic too. And I mentioned this comment briefly with Emily about slowing down eye contact. Her eye contact was very good. She looked at us all, but I'm going to talk a little bit about how focused eye contact for 5 to 10 seconds at one person, and then moving on to someone else, can just add to the connection when you talk about a serious topic like this. All right, Larry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lei. My topic for today is your fuel efficiency technology. Fuel efficiency can be a very simple concept. It's simply defined like the distance of your car can travel per unit of the fuel. But why do we need this? Simply because we need low cost, low CO2 emission, and low pollution. Many engineers have been developing many techniques to improve the fuel efficiency, but most of them just improve a few percent. Until recently, we got big breakthrough, hybrid techniques. Hybrid techniques improve the fuel efficiency more than 30%. In the hybrid car, there are two power systems, which cost a little bit more. But on the other hand, that car saves you a lot of money because they just simply use much less gasoline. So research has indicated that if you choose the small hybrid car, you can get very quick payback, like 2 years. So when you buy a new car, if the cost and the emission are two big factors you would like to consider, a small hybrid car is your best choice. Thank you.
Great job. So Lei did some great things with combining his pacing with eye contact, with movement, and his conclusion. Did anyone have any thoughts? Anyone want to make any comments on that? Yes.
He's very concise, but also I felt like I wasn't being rushed in his presentation. Very relaxed attitude, and his hand gestures went with his eye contact. Everything was in sync. It just worked very well.
Yeah, and very relaxed too. He did. You heard me laugh. He kind of did a like, all right, we're all friends here, type of body language, open and ready just to talk casually. And as Nick said, his eye contact, his pacing, and his conclusions were all in sync. So great job. We'll see if we can all get to that level by the end of class. Who's next? Alex, and then let's go Jose and Marilyn. Marilyn. Sorry, not Marilyn. Marilyn.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Torresano. I'm here today to speak about the importance of getting adequate sleep and to teach everyone about the effects of sleep deprivation. So sleep deprivation has been proven to cause an increase in creating accidents, and has shown to have negative effects to both our bodies and our minds. So to the body, it damages our immune system, it inhibits our recovery abilities, and it's been shown to be a leading indicator, or it's been shown to be correlated with type 2 diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure. And to the mind, it affects our ability to make sound decisions. It affects our reaction time, and it hinders our creativity as well. So in order for us to promote our optimal self, it's important that we eliminate any obstacles that get in the way of getting a good night's sleep. That's it.
Great job, Alex. So good, stable stance. He was presenting to us. My one thought is that he looks tense with that body language. And I just want to get you to relax a little bit more. And that body language will help us relax a little bit more as you listen to your presentation. All right. Jose, fire away.
Oh. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jose. I'm going to talk about Groupon. Groupon is a deal of the day website offering a variety of goods and services categories. The company was launched in 2008. It's the fastest growing company of the decade. And it expanded over 45 countries and 500 markets. And actually have more than 45 million customers up to date. The company is rumored to have generated 760 million in revenue for 2010, up from 33 million in 2009. Even Google tried to offer 60 billion, but it got rejected. Rice University convened a survey to evaluate the pros and cons of Groupon promotion. But out of 150 businesses in 19 cities, more than 40% said that they would not run a Groupon promotion again. So showing that restaurants were the worst and salons and spas were the most successful. So the conclusion is, this is the opportunity to bring new customers to your business, given the taste of your product or services, and you can make a deal as long as it's the right one for your line of business.
Oh, good. Okay, so Jose turned and faced us during that presentation. So it was a vast improvement from his presentation with the PowerPoint where there was a lot of awkward time. I guess he was standing here. So just that open body language, I think, made a huge difference. Still a couple things going on. One, there's kind of a pacing back like this and a pacing forward. Didn't that distract anyone? All right, well, maybe we'll see when we correct it if the class likes the improvement. So a little pacing. You were facing us, but you weren't making focused, consistent eye contact. And there was also something else that creeped in. The filler word, Anyone hear that a lot? And I think if we think about helping you with a stable stance, focused eye contact, you won't need to use that filler word because you'll realize that you're going to stay in a stable stance to communicate something important to us. And you have less time to think of, less time, less space, less need for filler words.
Hi, my name is Marilyn, and I'm here to talk to you about how to become a track star at any age. If you were ever interested in competing in track and field, you have an opportunity after age 35 to become a national medal winner in any event that is offered at any meet. The first step is to assess the registration information and find an event that has the fewest number of competitors to increase your chances of winning a medal. I suggest a 5K race walk because it's a familiar distance and there's a low barrier as far as training and rules to complete the event successfully. Second thing is to make sure you understand the rules of the event, because no matter how few people are entered, you can be disqualified and you will not win a medal in that event. The third step is to make sure that you have all the required registration and membership requirements met. So if you go to the USA Track and Field website, you can easily find where to sign up to become a member, find out which meet is open, and all the other information as far as travel and other athlete information.
Good, good. Now, we noticed how much her body language relaxed when she was just walking to her seat versus when she was standing giving the presentation. We'll see if we can bring that relaxed sense to your actual presentation. All right, so who hasn't gone yet? All right, so let's go David, Mike, and Jim.
I'm Dave Trapani. The next time you're standing around the coffee machine at work and people start talking about baseball, it'd be nice to have 15 seconds of conversation that you could provide to them. So with 1,000 players in baseball, I'll tell you about one guy people should know about, Noah Syndergaard. He's the best young pitcher in baseball. After competing for the 2014 Rookie of the Year, he's off to a sensational start this year. He's third in the league in ERA. He's second in the league in strikeout walk ratio, and he's third in the league in whip. And what do those things mean? It doesn't matter. As long as you say he's third in the league in ERA, the folks talking baseball will understand. So he pitches in New York, he gets good media coverage, and folks will know about him, so you should know that he is by far the best young pitcher in baseball, out-competing all the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. David, is that twitching in your left arm? Have you noticed that before? Or anyone pointed it out to you? Okay, awesome. Have a seat. I actually thought that you were going to use that as part of your presentation. It was just like so obvious. We'll see if we can get you to just relax your upper body and not have that distract us. Good.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Martinetti, and I'm here today to tell you why choosing Rutgers Business School for your MBA is a great choice. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons. Number 1, distinguished reputation. Rutgers is celebrating its 250th anniversary this year, so it's been around for a long time. Number 2, great flexibility. The MBA program actually is offering now weekend classes and online classes, and you can take classes up to 4 different campuses, so it's very flexible on your schedule. Number 3, new facilities. Within the last 10 years, Rutgers has invested over $165 million into its business school facilities, which shows their commitment to the programs. Number 4, return on investment. The tuition rates are relatively reasonable for an MBA program, and the salaries coming out upon graduation are pretty high. Rutgers actually ranks number 3 in the country of MBA programs for job placement upon graduation, which is very important if you're going to spend money for an MBA. Lastly, it's strong network. Rutgers Business School has over 33,000 alumni, which all over the globe, so they give a strong connection, a lot of opportunities for you to connect with these people. Also, Rutgers is located in the New York City metropolitan area near some of the top companies in the country, or even in the world. So, if you're interested in a program that'll have a distinguished reputation, great flexibility, new facilities, a great return on investment, and a strong network, choose Rutgers for your MBA. Thank you.
Excellent. Great job, Mike. Good, confident presentation style. I felt like it was fast. I got the feeling that it was fast. And I think if you use a little more focused eye contact, it will slow you down just a tiny, tiny bit, which is all you need.
So my name is Jim Jordan. I'm here to tell you about how reusable rocket technology is going to revolutionize the spaceflight industry and how this is going to benefit us in the very near future.
The cost of a rocket is primarily based in the bottom section, right? Tons of money. When you think of putting a satellite up, it costs literally an arm and a leg. Elon Musk, through SpaceX, has developed a way to save the most expensive part of that rocket and recover it so that they can reuse it for multiple launches. You're talking $10 to $15 million per launch, 10 to 15 million off of a $60 to $90 million rocket launch. That's a pretty substantial savings. That savings can go towards satellites, more experiments. It can go towards additional missions to the space station. And what do we get from this as citizens? We get new technologies that affect us every day. A lot of engineering technology comes from that. A lot of medical innovations are derived from technologies that came from the space program. So we have a lot to gain from this. How do they do it? It's not really that important for us. What you do need to know is that there's 3 stages to a rocket. They're all bolted together. And when they launch, they all launch together. When it reaches a certain altitude, it essentially runs out of fuel. So Elon Musk has developed a way to recover the back section of the rocket that would normally fall back down to Earth and get obliterated. He can then take that, refurbish it, and relaunch it. This is a big innovation. It's going to save us a lot of money, and there's a lot of things in our future that are going to come out of more access to space. Thank you.
All right, great job, Jim. I had a couple of thoughts as you were doing that. I felt like you approached us with such relaxed body language, and you were just winding up to give us that important, this is the thing. And I think I threw you off a little bit by, I was just kind of like got this face like, yeah, that was so good. And you look at me like, what?
I was like, yeah, what, am I doing something wrong? Or just kind of...
I felt that may have thrown you for the whole rest of the presentation. So what I would say is that your eye contact is so good, and your gestures are good, and you're so confident with your language, to just stay still. Just like, stay stable, and we'll get that power from your presentation. We'll try that, and I think you're going to notice a huge difference. All right, who else is everyone gone? Renew and Ricky and Shruti. Renew, Ricky. So Renew, Ricky, Shruti, Lavanya. All right, so Ricky, you want to go? Ricky, Shruti, Lavanya, and then Renew.
All right, everybody. We're going to talk about childhood obesity and how to prevent it. I have a 9-year-old, and I have been through that phase. We all know there are a couple of factors that comes into obesity. One of them is, of course, high sugary beverages. The second of all is huge portion sizes. And third of all, no activity, physical activity. TV, media, social media, games, it's all going here. All of this is causing diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension, all of it. So in order to prevent it, the one thing that as a parent, every one of us should do is involve ourselves in the physical activity. I go for a bike ride with my son. When I go out, when the weather is good, get yourself out. Do some physical activities. 60 minutes a day, that's all that's needed. Either moderate or vigorous activity, but 60 minutes and that's it. And your child will be healthy. So if you involve yourself in it, your child will be in a healthy path. That's all.
Excellent, Ricky. I noticed a little sway back and forth, and I also noticed a little bit of your head kind of back and to the right. We'll see if we can just get you to think about.
I have that back and to the right.
Yeah, like you're trying to get away from your audience. Really. Go for it, Trudy.
Hi everyone, my name is Shruti, so I'm here today to convince you to not text and drive if I haven't done so already last week. So texting and driving, texting is a visual, manual, and cognitive distraction. It's so much of a distraction and you're so impaired that you're 6 times more likely to cause an accident compared to when you're driving drunk. That's pretty alarming. And also, cell phone use alone is responsible for approximately 1.6 million car crashes per year, and some of those are fatal. So apart from crashes and the risk of death, it is also illegal. 46 states out of the 50 states have imposed a complete complete ban on all texting and driving. And also the steep fines are a deterrent for texting while driving as well. And despite all this, it is still very prevalent. So I want you to know that no matter what your reasons are to text and drive, no reason or no text is worth a life. So drive safe and don't text and drive.
Great job, Shruti. What was your focal point? Were you looking at Daniel most of the time?
The window.
The windows? Okay. Yeah.
It's just the window. I don't look at anyone.
Yeah, I'd say, well, spread the eye contact around. This is an important message for all of us to get. And show us that you want all of us to get that important message by spreading eye contact. Right. Oh, yeah, move on.
Hello everybody, my name is Lavanya and I'm here to talk about marathon running. So I've been a runner for the last 6-7 years and I hope to run till I drop. I don't know when that is. So me and my husband, both of us are runners. We're very passionate runners, and I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of a brief history of how marathon started, what it's come to evolve now, and a little bit of the benefits and the risks that come along with running. So the word marathon was coined back when the Greeks and Persians had a war in, I don't know, it was 468 BC or something like that, and they had this whole thing that they ran, they sent a messenger from Marathon to Athens, which was like around approximately 25 miles to share the victory. And this guy runs all 26 miles and he's dropped dead after that. He shares the victory and he dies. So it was considered a very cruel distance. It was considered a distance which was physiologically very difficult for runners for any human being to do. And then it was revived like 2,000 years later when the whole Marathon Olympics happened in Greek. And then in London Olympics in like 1878 or something like that, the distance was changed to 26 miles. So it's come a long way. It had like 117 entrants to begin with, 17 entrants to begin with. Very few people finished the race, and it's come to a point where just in the US alone there are more than 500,000 runners finishing the race every year. And I also wanted to stress a little bit of the importance of women in running, because it was something that a woman's body was not capable of doing, is what they said. But women are from 10% in 1980, women have come to be more than 45% of finishers recently, so women have proved everybody wrong. And I just wanted to say that, runners come in all shapes and sizes. I'm not one of those great runners, I'm a mid-pack runner, but I just love to run, I just love to finish. And running has a lot of benefits. It's a huge de-stressor, and it's got a lot of physical benefits, like it helps in maintaining your weight, losing your weight, it helps with reducing the risk of diabetes, and it's proven to help with depression, combat depression, and things like that. And it has its own injuries, and it comes with minor injuries, major injuries, and there have also been fatalities while running. So I hope you guys consider all the benefits and risks, see where you are now, and I hope you guys understood the history of marathon and join me for a run sometime. So thank you.
All right, if we can keep up while we're running, we'll join you. I mentioned this when I saw your presentation last week, a little bit of a sway back and forth. I feel like last week you were doing a sway forward and back, and this week you're doing a little bit of a sway side to side. So we'll try some exercises just to let go of that nervous energy and stand still. All right, Renew, fire away. Is everyone else gone? Okay, all right, so we got through everyone. We can just concentrate on the fun part after this.
Hello everyone. My name is Renu Varghese, and I am here today to talk to you about how to prevent heart diseases by leading a very healthy lifestyle. There's so much that goes into heart diseases. For example, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and smoking are the top 3 factors that lead to heart diseases. And a lot of us don't realize the importance in realizing what it is and how to prevent it. It's extremely easy to prevent it if you follow these steps. Avoid smoking, eat healthy, and exercise at least 30 minutes a day. So if you follow these steps, you'll be able to prevent heart disease. Thank you.
All right. was good focused eye contact and good stable body language. I can tell you we're nervous. And we'll see if we can do some exercises to just let go of that. And remember I talked about one way to control anxiety, just think of yourself as giving something to the audience. You're giving us something very important, and there'll be less space for you to concentrate on people judging you. All right, so we'll keep that in mind as we go through some of these exercises. So first we're going to talk about body language and do some body language stuff. So body language specifically, we'll talk about your use of arms and how that helps your presentation. So if I'm giving a presentation, how do gestures help me in that effective delivery? Yes, Mike?
It helps accent different points and stresses.
Yeah, accents, different points, stresses. So if I want to say sales are rising, costs are decreasing, or when we all got axed, might do something like that. Accents, different points. Yes, someone else? Trudy.
It captures the audience attention.
Yeah, engages the audience, gives them something visual to entertain them. So you're not just standing there without any movement. Anything else?
Moving a lot distracts the audience, like shaking your head or moving back and forth.
Okay, so too much movement will overdo it. So just a little bit of movement engages the audience, as Shruti said. Too much movement will distract the audience. Now, the question is, what type of gestures, what type of movement do we want to use during a presentation? And I'm just going to throw out this idea to you because you're not going to disagree with me. The difficulty is in how we actually get at that. I want to suggest that the type of movement, the type of gestures we want are natural and appropriate for our content. So what I mean by that is what you would naturally do when you're trying to communicate something nonverbal. Right? What would your body naturally want to do as you're trying to express something? We all know what we might do if we're trying to send a message nonverbally. The problem happens when we get up here and we get nervous, we forget. We either don't move at all, or we say, oh, my presentation consultant Zach told me to move a little bit, so I'm going to do a big, awkward movement. So we need to do some stuff, some exercises to remind us of what we do naturally. The other thing I want to mention is appropriate for our content. The reason I say that is sometimes really huge gestures are appropriate. If you're trying to be enthusiastic, you're trying to get everyone to support something that level of enthusiasm is justified, that's fine. Other times, just very nuanced body gestures, very nuanced hand gestures can be all you need to accent an important point in, say, a more conservative environment. So with that, let's try some stuff, some exercises to help us remember what we do naturally when we try to communicate non-verbally. So I've created a little space. I'm going to have you all come up here. We're going to do some stuff to loosen up. Let's try to form a circle, I guess, kind of as we can. So the circle will be kind of a tight circle. It may sort of be more of a, I don't know, a what do you call that? Salamander, gerrymander, type of thing. Like so can you all back up a bit? Back a little. Keep back in. Take that full space. That full space. Good. Excellent. All right. So you've been sitting a while. Let's just do a little shake out, a little stretch out here. Shake the arms out. I had a stressful day. Maybe you had a stressful day also. Hands behind your back. Stretch over that chest. And one arm across. Cool. And one arm across. And maybe just a slight sort of bend one direction, loosen up the hip on one side. Oh, very nice. More for my bit. To the other side. All right. first exercise I like to do is called zip, zap, zoom. What we do is we pass this imaginary ball of energy around the room using our hand gestures with the words zip, zap, or zoom. So as I pass this imaginary ball, I'm going to say one of those three things, and we'll start with zip. So I'm going to clap my hands together and say zip, like this. Zip. All right, and I've passed. And Jameson needs to give me all of his money. And I've passed the ball of energy to Jameson, and he's going to do the same thing, passing it around the room. So let's give it a shot. What are you doing? Just zip. Just zip. Just exactly what I do. Zip. Zip. Yes.
Zip. Zip. Zip.
Zip. Zip. Zip. Zip. Zip. Zip.
Zip.
Zip. Good, good. Let's actually, now that I think about it, why don't we just forget that little island thing is there and just make the whole, yeah. All right, make the whole circle here. Okay, because we need some room. You need some space. You need feet about shoulder width apart from you. Come out from the wall just a little bit. Slight bend in the knees. You're ready to pass this ball of energy with all your physicality. Does that make sense? All right, zip. Zip.
Zip.
Yeah, nice.
Zip.
Yeah, zip. Yeah.
Zip. Zip. Zip.
Zip.
Zip. Zip. Zip.
Zip. Fantastic. All right, the next step is anyone at any point can say zap and go the other direction. So let's zip around to Nick. And when we get to Nick, you're going to say zap back to Evan, and that's going to send the zip back in the other direction. So Nick's going to change the direction with zap, and then we're going to go back to zip, go the other direction. Zip, 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 zap, zip, 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 zip. Fantastic. All right.
This is going to have the most views.
Okay. The third step, anyone at any point can say zoom to someone across the circle. You can zoom anyone except the two people on either side of you. So let's do this. Let's zip all the way to Nick. Nick is going to zap and switch directions, and we're going to zip all the way to Saeed. And then you are going to zoom to one person of your choosing. When Saeed zooms you, you go back to zip, one direction or the other. Make sense? All right, zip, 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 zap, zip, 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 zip,
Zip. Zip. Zip.
zip, 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 zip,
Zap. Zip.
zip, 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 zip.
Zoom.
Okay, all right, good, good. You have to be very clear when you zoom, who you're zooming to. Eye contact will help, clearly pointing. But yeah, you've got the hang of it. All right, so let's so loosen up here. Let's try a couple more practice runs before we start the elimination round. Zip, zip, zip,
Zip. Zip. Zap.
yeah.
Zip. Zip.
Zip, 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 zap, zip, 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 zoom, zip,
Zip. Zip. Zip.
zip, zoom, zip, 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 zap, zip, zip, zoom. Zip, zip, zip,
Zip. Zip.
zip, zip, zoom, zip, 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 zip,
Zip. Zap. Zip.
zip, 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 zap, zip, 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 zap, zip, 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 zip,
Zap.
zip, zip, zoom, zip, zip, zip,
Zip. Zap.
zip, zap, zip. All right, does everyone have the hang of it? So zip, zap changes directions. If someone zaps you, you can either zip the other direction or you can zoom. You can go zip, zap, zoom. If someone zooms you, you must go back to zip, one direction or the other. All right, so let's start the elimination round. If you make a mistake, you're out. And we'll see who the best zip, zap zoomers are. Let me step out at this point. Start us off, Alex. Zip, 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 zip. Sorry. Zip, backwards. All right. Let's give him a pass on just the technically it was a mistake, but go ahead, Jameson, start us off.
Zip, 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 zoom, zip, zip, zip,
Zoom.
Well, who was that?
Zoom.
Oh, zip, zap, zip, zip, zap.
Oh wait, did you say zap? You said zap. You said zap. The wrong direction.
Oh, yeah, it's up.
I didn't. Okay. Now we're starting. All right, start us off, Dan.
All right. Zip,
Zap.
zip,
Zip.
zip, zip,
Zip, zap, zip.
zip, 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 zoom,
Zip,
zip,
zip, zoom.
zip,
Zap.
zip, zip, zap, zoom, zip, zoom.
Oh. All right, come on. All right, start us off.
Zip.
Zap.
Zip.
Whatever.
Yeah, that one?
I missed it. Go for it.
Zip, 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 zip,
Zap.
zip, zip, zoom,
Zip.
zip, zip,
Zoom.
zoom, zoom, zoom.
No. Stop. Once you get zoom, you must zip in one direction or another.
Okay.
Start us off.
Right. Zoom, zip, 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 zip,
Zap.
zip,
Nah.
zip, zip, zoom, zip, zip,
Zip, zap, zip.
zip, zip,
Zip, zip, zip.
zap,
Zip, zip, zip.
zoom, zip, zip, zip,
Zip, zip,
zap,
zip, zip.
zip, 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 zap, zip, zap, zip, zoom, zip, zip, zip,
Zip, zap, zip.
zip, zoom, zip, zap, zip, up, zip.
You're right. It's fine. You're right the first time. Keep going. It's fine. You didn't make a mistake.
Yeah, we're good. Zip, zip,
Zap.
zip, 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 zip,
Zap, zip.
zip, zap.
Yeah, you should have said zap. You said zip. Zero. Yeah. That's right, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. You change directions, you have to say zap. All right, Alex. It's like with disease. Let's engage. Step forward a little bit, Saeed. All right, you're ready to play in this game. Start us off, Saeed.
Zip, zip,
Like you mean.
zip, zap, zip, zip,
Zip,
zap,
Yeah.
zip, 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 zoom, zip, 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 zap, zip, zip, zip,
zoom. Zip,
zip, zip, zip, zoom, zip,
zip, zip, zip.
zap,
Zip, zip, zoom.
zap, zip, zip,
Zip. Wait, oh, zip, sorry.
zip, zip, zoom, zip, 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 zap, zip, 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 zoom, zip,
Zip, zip,
zap,
zip, zip,
zip, zip, zap, zip, zip,
zip, zip.
zip, 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 zoom, zoo.
All right, start us off, Shuki.
Zip, 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 zap, zip, zip,
Zip, zip.
zip, zap, zip,
Zap.
Oh, man. You got me.
All right, gotta keep your head in the game. Start line.
Okay. Zoom.
No. Start.
That was aggressive.
Okay.
That was
Okay, I like a clap.
Zoom. Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, start us off.
Zip,
Zip, zip.
zip, zip, zap, up,
Oh.
zip,
Zip,
zip, zap,
zip, zip.
zip, 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 zap.
Yeah.
Zoom. Zip, zap, zip,
Zip, zip, zip.
zip, zoom. Zip, zip, zip,
Zip, zip.
zip, 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 zip.
All right. Say, like your life depends on getting this ball of energy in the right hand at the right time. All right, are you ready? Ready? All right, start us off, Alex.
Zip, zip,
Yeah.
zip,
Zip, zap,
Yeah.
zip,
zip, yeah, zip.
zip, zip, zip. Oh. My leg.
All right, go for it, David.
Zip, 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 zip,
Zip, zip.
zoom. Zip, zip, Zap. Zip. Zip.
Zap.
Stop.
Oh, no.
No,
Zap.
Zip.
Zap.
Okay.
Wait. You said zap. You should have said zip.
There was two zaps.
Two zaps.
Two zaps in direction.
Oh, I can't have nice things.
Starts off, Jim.
Zip. 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 Zap. Zip. 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 Zip.
Zip.
Zap.
Zip.
Zip. Zip. Zip. Zoom. Zip. 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 Zoom. Zip. Zip.
Zoom.
Zip. Zip. Zoom. Zip. 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 Zap. Zip. 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 Zap. Zip. 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 Zoom.
All I hear is
Zip.
zip, zap, zip.
Zap. Oh.
Emily, bend the knees for me. I like you're ready to play some basketball or some dodgeball. All right, start us off, Emily.
Zip. 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 Zoom. Zip.
Zip, zip,
Zap.
zip,
Zip. Zip. Zap.
zip,
Zip.
zoom,
Zip. Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zip.
zip.
All right, go for it, Ricky.
Zip,
Zip. 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 Zap. Zip. Zip.
All right, go for it, Shruti.
Zip. Zip. Zap. Zip. Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zap.
zip,
Zip. Zoom. Zip. 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 Zoom. Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zap. Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zap. Zip.
zoom.
Zip. Zip. Zap. Zip. Zip. Zap. Zap. Zip.
Good, David, your hands are just kind of resting. I want to see them like up and engaged, like they're ready to get it and receive something. Yeah, like that. Right. Noah Syndergaard. Yes, like Noah Syndergaard. Starts off here.
Zip.
Zip,
Zip. Zip. Zoom. Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zap. Zip.
zip,
Zap.
zip,
Zip. Zoom.
zip,
Zip.
zip,
Zoom. Zip. Zip. Zap. Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zap.
zoom,
Zip. Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zip. Zoom. Zip.
zip,
Zoom. Zip. 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 Zip.
zap,
Zip. Zip. Zap. Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zap. Zip.
zip.
Zoom. Zip. Zap.
All right, go for it, Alex.
Zip. 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 Zip.
Zip,
Zip. Zip. Zap. Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zoom. Zip. Zip. Zoom. Zip.
zip,
Zip.
zap,
Zip.
zip,
Zap.
zip,
Zip.
zap,
Zip.
zip,
Zip. 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 Zip.
no,
Zip.
zip,
Zoom. Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zap. Zip.
zoom,
Zip. Zip.
zip,
Zoom. Zip. Zip.
All right, starts off like.
God, I'm freaking out.
Yeah. Add attention the whole time. Add attention the whole time. You're only engaged when you're doing zip.
Zip. Zip. Zip.
zoom,
The whole time you're giving a presentation.
Zip.
Ready to give an
Zap.
zip,
Zip. Zip. Zap. Zap. Oh, shit.
All right. I think we only go one more because you can't really do it with three. So who would be the three best zip zap zoomers? Starts off.
Zip.
zip,
Zip. Zip. Zip.
zip.
All right, fantastic. So why do I have you do that silly exercise? What are the takeaways there? Yes.
Emphasis on who you're directing your energy and revolt to.
Yeah. You have to be clear about who you're directing it to and what you're saying. What else?
Very focused.
Very focused. So when we're giving a presentation, we want to focus our attention, we want to focus our message on someone. We don't want the audience to think that we're not engaged or not, with this. I mentioned to Alex, I wanted to see him engaged the whole time. I mentioned it seemed like he was only engaging you through the zip. It was like zip, zip, it's over. So you're engaged and present even when you're not making those body language gestures. Anything else?
You're prepared to respond.
So this is a give and take between you and the audience that you're physically prepared for, that resonates with you. Anything else? Good stuff. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, so it's total body language. So it's hands, eye contact, it's legs, it's movement, it's shoulders, it's the whole package.
Yeah, and I measured a couple people, like bend the knees. Did anyone, when you were looking around, did it look like the person I suggested bend their knees, or when they did that, did they seem like you wanted to have more of an intense conversation with them? Yeah, fantastic. All right, Mary, last one.
We were all in this together till we, so, you're not isolated in this.
And you can take that takeaway to giving a presentation. We're in this together. It's not me against you and I'm going to lean back. We're engaged in something together. Okay, so let's move on to the next exercise, continuing how we can use good gestures. This exercise is called space substance. It's the idea of creating an imaginary object in your hand. So if you were to tell a story about some imaginary object, maybe you were to tell a story about some big club that some scary guy at a bar picked up, you might sort of describe this club physically, and you might create it with your hands. And the more vividly you can create that for your audience, the more entertained they might be by your story. But also, as you create this object physically, you'll engage yourself in that story more. So I'm going to take you through a process of just creating something in your hands. You'll get a chance to practice it, practice getting your whole physical being into telling this story. So I'm going to have you, let's see how we're going to do this. We're going to use mostly this space. You can use a little bit of the side space. How we'll do this exercise is you'll just kind of walk around. It'll be individual, and you'll just listen to me walk you through this scenario of you creating this object. So let's just start with kind of like roaming around this space and using a little bit of that space. Shake the arms, shake off the last exercise. So, yeah. All right, just come on in, come on out. Walk. Take a couple deep breaths, if you can say. All right, so and get some movement too. Just kind of walk around aimlessly like you're a bunch of pinballs in a pinball machine. Fantastic. All right, so as you shake off the day, shake off the last exercise, I would like you to reach down and pick up an imaginary ball. All right? And I would like you to, as you continue walking around with this ball, I would like you to make some decisions about how big this ball is, how heavy this ball is. Is this ball made of cloth? Is it made of plastic? Is it bouncy? Sort of saggy when you touch it? How does holding it affect your shoulders? Does it make your biceps tense up a little bit? Is it so heavy that it makes your knees bend a little bit? Just kind of play with that for a few seconds. Decide what exactly you're holding in your hand. Good sure thing. I'm just saying hands, I'm not saying a ball. There we go, Ricky. Oh, and I'm sort of saying something, Jim. Not quite.
I'm still on the side.
Okay. I'm saying maybe 2 balls for the sure. Oh, good, Al. Yeah, you got something. Al's got something in his hands for sure.
It's a child.
All right. Now, I would like you to imagine that for some reason, this ball is getting bigger. It just kind of expands in your hand or hands for whatever reason. Yeah, it starts to get a little heavier too. It's weird, isn't it? Your ball starts to get heavier. How does that change the way you hold it? Yeah, some concern there, Emily. I like it. Oh, good, Daniel. Yeah. All right, yeah. Now, in addition to getting, good. All right, in addition to getting bigger and heavier, all of a sudden this ball starts to get a little hot.
I'm dropping it.
Now, suppose you don't want to drop it because maybe there are classmates or maybe there's kids around. You're afraid that you might drop this dangerous thing, which all of a sudden starts getting hot, maybe some sort of toxic whatever. Yeah, so you're not sure how you feel about right. But you still have to hold it. No, you cannot put it on the side of the shelf. All right. Yeah, all right. Now, not only is it getting heavy and hot, but it's also getting a little wet for some reason. It's you. Yeah, David. I like it. Okay, now I see something in your hands. I didn't see it before, David. Now I see it. There, good job, Mike. Good, Renew. Are you
Supposed to have adapted a circular pattern.
I'm trying to be the disruptor here.
Good. Disrupt the pattern. I like it. All right, good, Lavanya. Excellent, excellent. I see something in your hand. Oh, good, Evan. Good. All right. Go ahead and set that to the ground and let it just melt into the ground. It's safe now. Good. Dust off the hands. That's kind of that's good. Round of applause / dust. Go ahead and mosey back to your circle. And let's do this. Let's, Shruti, can you bend down and pick up a ball for us of your choosing? And let's pass that around the circle. So Shruti's going to pass it to someone, and we're just going to keep passing that, like across, like actually throw it. Like throw it to someone. There, yes.
There it comes now.
Floating through the air.
Nice. There we go. Yeah. All right, good, Shruti. Set that ball down, and Ricky, can you pick up another ball, and let's pass this one around, a smaller ball. Yeah, smaller ball. All right, let's pass this around fast. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yes. Okay, did you notice how when the ball was thrown over there, it's like everybody reacted to it, right? We didn't know where that ball was. It had its life, all right? It had something that we were engaged in watching. There's the ball. Keep throwing. Good. Go ahead and set that down, Marilyn. All right, excellent. Give yourselves a hand. All right. Did you notice somehow you could really sometimes you could really visualize the ball, and sometimes you couldn't? When we could really visualize it, it was more interesting. And the people who were engaged in passing that back and forth were more interesting to watch, more engaged in making some sort of delivery or receiving information. I like to use that metaphor. You're giving and receiving information when you're making the presentation or when you're listening to the presentation, so you want that level of engagement. And you also want to think about how you could really invest physically in creating that story for your audience. Any comments before we move on? Lavanya, what did you think? Did you think that zip, zap, zoom helped you stabilize a little bit?
I didn't stay even for the first round.
You what?
I thought I lost the first round.
All right. Well, did you know? Well, maybe did you get anything before the first round in terms of balance? Balance. All right. Let's everyone sit down. Lavanya, why don't you try your presentation again? Yeah. All right. So come up, stand there. All right. Good zip zap zoom position. All right. Slightly to the knees. Ready? Okay. All right, so stay in that position. Give us your presentation.
Just a second to think about it. Hello, everybody. Should I just walk?
Whatever's comfortable. Hands in zip zap. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Should I be doing this?
Just try your presentation, but use that physicality to keep you stable.
So hello, everybody. My name is Lavanya, and I'm here to present about marathon running and a little bit of the background and history of marathon and also the benefits and risks of running a marathon. So I wanted to share with you guys how the name marathon was coined.
Okay, stop for a minute. You see how you're still doing a little bit of sway? All right, so try to imagine that you're pushing something out of us as a means of remaining stable. Does that make sense? So if you feel like you have energy you want to get rid of, imagine you're pushing it out here, not back and forth. Okay.
So let's just talk about a little bit of the benefits of running. So running has a lot of benefits, like it's a huge de-stressor, and it's proven to combat depression. It has a lot of physical benefits like losing weight, maintaining your weight, and fighting against diabetes. It helps reduce diabetes, the risk of diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, a lot of things. And the risks that come along with running are injuries, depending on the state of your body and depending on the kind of training you do, you can go anywhere from minor injuries to major injuries. And also the risk of fatality. A lot of people, it's just a lot of times you just drop dead. I've seen people do that in the middle of the race. It's probably because the body is not capable of taking that kind of pressure, or it's the heat, the dehydration, a lot of reasons.
Okay, let me stop you there. Thank you for bearing with me. Do we notice the difference when she's not swaying back and forth? Makes a big difference. All right. It was not a huge difference, but it was a good, solid, substantial improvement. All right. So go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. All right. Jim, can you try it one more time for us?
I can.
All right.
It might be like approximately similar, you know.
Okay. Remember what I suggested. It's just, so go ahead and come on. To just remain stable the entire time and keep your good eye contact and good hand gestures. All right, but just come forward, zip, zap, zoom position. Yeah. Okay, yes. Good, all right, fire away.
So my name is Jim Jordan. I'm here to talk to you about why reusable rocket technology is going to revolutionize the spaceflight industry and how it's going to benefit us in the very near future. There's a lot of money to be saved by reusing the most expensive part of a rocket, and Elon Musk has figured out how to do that. When you save money, $10 to $15 million per launch, you can put that money towards other things, like putting satellites into space. You can use it for more experiments in space, putting additional crew on the space station. And when you do this, we as citizens reap the rewards of these endeavors. The way they do it is not really that important. What you need to understand is that there's 3 stages to the rocket. There's a main stage, an inner stage, and the...
Good. Stop. Okay, so all I asked Jim to do was just remain stable, because his eye contact and gestures were already so good. Did that make a difference? Mm-hmm. What was better?
I don't remember his sway. Can you do it again, sway?
I feel like I kind of just because it's like, it feels unnatural for me to like stand here. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm standing, like it's awkward because I'm like a...
Oh, you felt more awkward the second time?
Yeah, I guess all that matters is how you guys perceived me presenting. Like what I thought probably didn't count for as much, but like for me, I'm typically like, even when I'm in my office, I stand on the phone. Like I don't sit and take phone calls. Just
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay,
It's like
well,
natural for me to kind of...
the fact that we like the second run better is definitely an important point, but still we want something that's sustainable for you. So we'll find a way if we can to mesh those two out.
So I thought the second time it seemed more focused, and you were professional the first time, but this time it was, over the top professional, had our attention. But my question is it, for some people, are they able to walk around a bit? I think I do it more out of a nervous habit that I kind of walk around the room. So do some people are better off to stand still and others to move around, or do you think that varies?
It tends to vary. Some people I will say move less, and some people I will say move more. In Jim's case, because he already had such great eye contact and great gestures, I felt that the movement was just distracting him. And he could capture some of the intensity of his message by remaining still.
Yeah, what I think about when we discuss this is the Steve Jobs unveiling presentations, where he would pace a little bit and seem very pensive in doing so, but he would also turn back to the audience for a lot of key moments, or he would use his focus on the audience to really drive home certain points within his presentation. And I kind of like that when someone is pacing around a little bit and, you know, is clearly thinking while they're presenting and then looking at the audience, you know, 80% of the time.
Okay, good. So I think we saw one really good example of stability increasing the effectiveness of the presentation. Let's see if we can think of an example of a little extra movement helping the presentation. Okay, so Alex, remember we said that it looked like you were stiff, and it looked to me like you were not relaxed. It was good open body language. So let's think about using just a little bit of movement. And actually, now that I think about it, there's a movement exercise we didn't do, but we'll have to make do. So come back up for us, Alex, and think about adding a few of those engaged gestures like you did with Zip Zap Zoom. And not only that, but you're ready to gesture at any time. It's not like you're engaged when you gesture and then back to stiff. It's hands forward for me. Yeah. All right, go. Start talking.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Torresano. Today I'm here to talk to everyone about the importance of getting good sleep and about the detrimental effects of sleep deprivation. So not getting enough sleep every day causes people to increase their chances of type 2 diabetes, increases their risk for obesity, and it has shown to correlate with high blood pressure as well. It also has damaging effects to the mind. For example, it diminishes our creativity, it reduces our reaction time, and it affects our memory as well. And there's useful techniques that everyone here can try to promote better sleep patterns. Some of those include practicing good stress and time management.
Okay, good. Let me stop you there. So we made a slight change. Did we notice a difference?
I thought he had a little bit more energy this time.
More energy?
He's more relaxed, and
More
that
relaxed?
keeps you in the conversation and more into the.
Yeah, Mike?
He seemed a little more excited about it, a little more, he really wanted to push the message forward, not just get it out.
Push the message forward. Are you saying that just to make me happy? Or actually believe that? All right, either way, I'll take it.
I also thought a little bit more of his personality came out in this presentation.
Okay, so with a slight change, all right, all I said was, well, he's doing Zip Zap Zoom, is I want to see you engaged the whole time, not just when you're doing the zip. So he was physically engaged the whole time, more personality, more engaged.
I thought it was better this time. I think what would make it even better is if some of the movements correlated to what he was saying. Then it would be really, then I would say always move.
Okay.
Then it's like emphasizing the point. So when he moves his leg forward, if that correlated to a point he's making, and then when you move your leg backward, somehow, I don't know how to do it, but I'm just saying, if you were to somehow do that, I think then the movements, I would appreciate it even more.
Yeah, and I think that will come. And if I'd let him talk longer, you would have said, oh, it correlated at this point, didn't correlate at this point. And he could get there. All right, great. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
All right. Evan, we talked about how you had very animated gestures, which were good. You had a very charming way of delivering your presentation. But I wanted you to control those gestures just a tiny bit. And by controlling them, I mean like Zip, Zap, Zoom controlling them. When you have a purpose for making the zip, make the zip, the zap, the zoom, all right, instead of too much. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Hi everybody, my name is Evan and I'm here to talk to you about superhero movies. I think they're great and I think you should too. So the superhero movies started we're going to concentrate on the late 90s, but the history goes back to the 1930s, 1940s, the golden era of comic books and television kind of at the same time. They came up together, and you saw TV shows like Superman, eventually the Batman show, Batman became a movie in 1966, and so on up and through until the 1990s. That's really where we started.
All right, let me stop you for 1 second. So do this for me, Evan. I want you to have your hands and your knees in zip, zap, zoom position most of the time.
Okay.
All right, and add in a gesture or two when you feel fit, when you feel it is fit.
Okay.
And then when you're done with the gesture, go back to zip, zap, zoom position.
All right.
So if you're talking superheroes in 1940s, yada, yada, back to the super, and this.
I feel like I'm about to sing opera. Like, is there a better way to
What? Tell me what's comfortable for you. What's the good resting position for you?
I mean, I do this a lot, I guess, but this seems too...
All right, I don't like that. Can you give me a second? Can you give me another choice?
I guess big leaf or something? That sounds good.
Try this for me. Just
okay.
give it a shot. Give it a shot. Okay. So stable. Don't move unless you're going to make a gesture, and then back to that engaged zip zap.
Okay. Hi everybody. My name's Evan. I'm here to talk to you about superhero movies, how great they are, and why I think you should think they're great too. The history of superhero movies starts.
Okay. Stop. So, one thing you're doing, you're kind of leaning back.
Yeah, this is weird to me. This feels so strange.
You were leaning back even before.
Was that? Okay.
But you're still leaning back. So try to think about leaning forward as if you're going to push something at the audience.
Okay.
Go.
All right. Hello, my name is Evan. I'm here to talk to you about superhero movies. I think they're great. I think you should too. Superhero movies started way back in the 1940s. Sorry. Way back in the 1940s, where we start seeing things like comic books and television. They all started coming up together through World War II, and then up through the 60s, 70s, you see some of them every now and then. But it's really not until the 1990s or so where we start seeing a steady stream of movies happening. In the early 90s, you'll see one or two. All the way up through 2016, we start to see a lot more of them. And if you were to look at the number of movies that come out over that period, it goes from maybe one or two in the early 90s, all the way up through a peak of 8 or 9, and we're up to 5 of them. About per year.
Good. Excellent. I think we made a little progress.
Okay.
I think I might have you come back up again when we have to do some eye contact exercise stuff.
Cool.
We're on the right track, for sure. So, that brings me to our next subject, eye contact. So, do we want to make eye contact with our audience, or do we want to look down? We want to make eye contact with our audience, of course. How does eye contact help us as a presenter? Daniel. I faked you out there.
Yeah. You establish a connect. When you look right at them, they feel like the message is straight to them, and they really receive it a lot more than when you kind of survey.
Yeah, the message is straight to them. I love the way you put that. Anything to add, David?
It can cause people to focus on what you're saying again. So if they're daydreaming and you look at them, they notice and they pay attention again.
Yes. All right. Engages their attention. Emily.
Keep tabs on your audience, see what they seem to be understanding versus what's going over their head.
Critical. So if your audience is going like this, you're going to slow down a little bit. You may back up. You may say, oh, is there a question? You don't want to be the person who keeps talking when your audience is going like this. Anything else to add? Nick?
It helps kind of assert somewhat of a dominant standpoint with the audience, that you're confident, you know what you're talking about. If you look at the ground, you kind of lose credibility.
Yeah, why do you lose credibility if you look at the ground? Somebody help us out here. Yeah.
You look like you're hoping nobody guesses that you don't know what you're talking about.
Like you're hiding something?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, look me in the eye when you say that. You're hiding something. I'm going to be able to tell you're hiding something. Or you're hiding that you actually know what you're talking about, or that you don't. So we want to use eye contact because it helps us connect with our audience and has all those benefits that you mentioned. The only question is, or a couple questions. One, how do we manage it? Do we stare at one person the whole time? Or do we look at one person for 1 second and just kind of spread our eye contact? And the other question is, how do we force ourselves to do that? How do we do something that is typically a little bit awkward for us, making consistent eye contact? So 2 questions. how do we manage it? And 2, how do we remind ourselves to do it? In terms of how we manage it, we don't stare at one person the whole time, of course. I like to recommend stare at one person for 5 to 10 seconds, and then move on to someone else. 5 to 10 seconds is a fairly long time. It's not 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, half a second. It's a length of a time to say a full thought. A peer of mine in the presentation consulting business, Tamara Jacobs, uses the acronym STOP. It stands for single thought, one person. So one thought at Vishali, make eye contact the whole time. And then I move on to the second thought, I'm looking at Jose. And then I move on to the third thought, eye contact at Jameson, so on and so forth. I recommend managing eye contact with one of those 2 techniques. Single thought, one person, or 5 to 10 seconds at one person, and then on to someone else. Remind them that this content is important to them long enough to, or stare at them long enough to remind them of that. So, next question. How do we get ourselves to do something that is sometimes a little awkward in our society of making consistent eye contact? You'll be happy to know I've got some exercises which will help us practice that. So let's come up and do some eye contact exercises. All right, yes, let's get back in our circle. All right, this is going to be challenging because we're in a tight space, but we can do it. This first exercise is called Eye Connect. How it works, I'll describe the instructions to you and then we'll do it. You will initially put your head down in kind of a rock star waiting position. Don't do it yet, just watch me. And then when I say start the exercise, we'll bring your head up. You will make eye contact with someone around the circle. And when you make eye contact with that person, you will switch places with them in the circle. You will do this all silently. And once you finish switching places with that person, you'll make eye contact with someone else and switch places with them. And you will continue for a minute or so, and then we'll stop and debrief. Now, there'll be a lot of people moving all at once, so be very careful and watch out for this little thing. The key is that you maintain eye contact the whole time that you're switching places with this person in the circle. All right, can we break eye contact? And a question, Lavanya?
What if they don't make eye contact with me?
Oh. That is my favorite. That is my favorite question ever. Thank you so much for asking. Can someone answer it for me? What if they don't make eye contact with me? Then you have not made eye contact. If they don't make eye contact with you, you have not made eye contact. It takes 2 to make eye contact. Does that make sense? You'll know. You'll know. When eye contact is made, you'll know. If they're looking at someone else, then they're not ready to switch places with you in the circle. Any other questions? Let's just do it, and then we can debrief why I'm having you do this silly thing in a minute. All right, so heads down, rock star waiting position. Heads up, and begin the exercise. Good, David. All right, you don't have to put your head down and reset every time.
You're asking me to dance.
Good. Eye contact the whole time, Ricky. Good, Daniel. Good, Evan. That's it. All right, stop for a second. Go back to your place in the circle. All right, good. So why am I having you do this exercise? Why is it uncomfortable?
Support.
Walking towards someone while making constant eye contact is just naturally
Okay, so, well, I would argue that you make eye contact for about this long when you're giving a presentation. At least I hope you do. But when you're giving a presentation, you're actually talking. So it's a little less awkward. This exercise shows us how much we can really engage someone, and we can practice engaging them for that 5 to 10 seconds. But it's a little awkward as we're pushing the envelope and getting used to it. Any other thoughts on how you do this?
I know one thing that I get out of it was a lot of unspoken visual cues. So I would look at someone, they would look at me, and we kind of take a second to wonder if we're staring at each other, and then I'd see a head nod or they acknowledge that I'm recognizing them, and I just go off of those cues now.
Yeah, so much communication happens non-verbally, and this is just to give us a chance to peek at it. Daniel?
When you're maintaining eye contact and walking at the same time, you kind of have to focus on keeping it while doing some other simultaneous activity. So sometimes when I'm presenting and I try to hold the contact, I might forget what I'm thinking, but so I'm trying to do two things at once.
Yes, yes, and this is a reality. This happens. This especially happens when I'm doing this actual workshop, and I throw this at people when they're not really ready for it, and they're like, I completely forgot. But we have to balance that. We have to realize that sometimes we get so engaged we forget, but it's okay. We say, where was I? Mike?
I think there's a difference between looking at someone and actually making eye contact. So you could be looking at someone, but actually not looking at their eyes, and really seeing if you're grasping their attention.
Okay, so what happened during this exercise that makes you say that? What did you learn? What was
Just
it?
realize what actual eye contact is.
Wow, again, that's 2 times. You're trying to make me feel good here. I did my exercise and you realized what actual eye contact was. All right, I think we're almost ready to go home. Just getting to that point. Say, did you have one thing to finish up with?
Yeah, I guess for like the receiver, the person listening, like when someone makes eye contact with you, then you kind of forget about everything else. So as soon as someone made eye contact with me, like I was kind of searching for someone who's making eye contact, and I found that person, and then I forgot about everyone else, and I'm just focusing on that person walking. So it really helps to narrow the person's vision and focus on that person.
Focus on your audience. Why not? Why not forget about everything other than trying to communicate something valuable to your audience? And to think about
both ways. It's the person receiving and the person giving it.
okay, even better. So your audience, you want your audience to forget about everything else except for receiving your message. That's great. I like it. One last thing, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm standing here like, well, why isn't anybody looking at me? So as an audience member, I would empathize with the person talking. If I'm not really looking at them, that's like, well, I'm looking at them. Why aren't they looking at me?
Okay, so, all right, so as an audience member.
I would look more directly at the person talking.
Oh, to make them feel better?
Like, to let them know I'm paying attention. And I'm standing here like, I'm looking for somebody to look at me.
Yeah. So you don't really notice that if you spend most of your time in the audience. You get up and you practice a presentation and you realize how great it is when people are actually looking at you and paying attention to you. So it's great if your audience does that. If they don't, you can get them to look back at you by looking at them. It can be unnerving sometimes when a speaker looks at you. This is why we don't stare at them for more than 5 to 10 seconds. But 5 to 10 seconds is enough to get them to say, oh, I guess I better put the phone down, or I guess I better pay attention. Great thoughts. Let's take those lessons and move on to the next exercise. This is called, I forget what it's called. It's called A's, B's, I something. So let's divide you into 2 groups. Jim and Saeed sort of move a little bit this way. Is that about even? No? All right. So you 3 go over this side. You stay there, Alex. Is that about even? It's even? All right, fine, Daniel. You go to this side. All right, great. Fine. You all are A's. You all are B's. You're going to walk around silently and make eye contact with your classmates. Who did I say are A's? A's, you're A's? A's, your job is to make eye contact as long as possible, whether you're making eye contact with another A or with a B. as long as possible, A's. B's, you want to make eye contact and look away real quick. Eye contact, look away. Eye contact, look away. Wait, look away. Whether you're making eye contact with each other or with an A. So you all, eye contact and look away real quick. You all, eye contact as long as possible until you essentially walk past that person. Does that make sense? As long as possible, look away real quick.
We're still switching positions, right?
No, we're going to walk around like we're in a pinball game, just like we did with the space substance exercise. So go ahead, start walking around aimlessly in our little square space, rectangle space. A's as long as possible. B's, look away real quick. Good, good. Now I want you to switch roles. All right, if you were an A before, now you're going to be a B. If you're a B, now you're going to be an A. Continue walking around, just switch roles. So if you were making eye contact consistently before, you're going to look away. If you're looking away real quick, now you're going to make eye contact consistently. All right, excellent, excellent. Give yourselves a hand. These eye contact exercises can provoke laughter. I like it. What I like even more is what happened. Why did it make you feel uncomfortable, and what did you learn from that? Yes.
As a B, I felt I was more rude. Someone else was looking at me and I'm like, nope. And yeah, and then some people, when I was in A, were looking up and they were not looking at me, so that made me feel bad.
Okay, so when you were trying to make eye contact with people and they didn't look back at you, it
Yeah.
made you feel like,
Yeah,
what's wrong?
and the other way around, I felt rude when I didn't.
Okay, okay. What else?
So as an A, when you were making eye contact for the longest time and you met another A, you got to an awkward stage. and you realize you've been looking at them too long.
So I've gotten my point across.
Go.
Now I can turn and impress someone else. We have to push the envelope a little bit to find out where the limit is, right? All right, what else? Anything? So, which role made you feel more confident?
A.
Typically A, but sometimes I'll get a contrarian. Do you want to speak to contrarian B?
I felt more easier just looking and looking down because I didn't want to keep staring at somebody for too long.
So I might suggest it's scary when you take that leap and really try to connect with your audience or connect with someone. But we want to see your genuine thoughts. We want to hear a presentation that is important to you. Put yourself on the line when you're making that presentation. I worked all night on this conclusion. Here it is. Nobody's going to want you for anything that you're just faking your way through. Nobody's going to want you for the type of presentation that you can give and just look at the ground. Just not. So, A's typically look more confident, typically feel more confident, and that's the kind of presenter that we want to be. All right, let's move on to the next exercise, the last eye contact exercise. I like to joke about this one a little bit before I start. It is called Stare at Your Partner for 60 Seconds. So, I suggest you choose your partner very carefully. Because at the end of this 60 seconds, they're going to know all your intimate secrets. You will not be able to hide from this person. So go ahead and choose your partner. I'll get the stopwatch ready. And don't start the exercise yet. All right, so go ahead and find your own space. So come find your partner and then come find your own space here.
No.
All right, do we have a... Okay, so I guess Al and I have to do it?
Oh, boy.
All right, fine. I hate it when there's an odd number of people and I have to do this. All right, so there's no talking during this exercise. We'll do it for a minute and then we'll talk about why. Ready, go. $20 seconds now. All right, want to keep going? All right. Wow. Boy, that was intense. That was great. I haven't had to do that one in a while. And it reminds me, the main reason I do this is the expectation of action that eye contact creates. You can't look at someone for very long without them expecting something to happen. And it's so overwhelming that, at least in our case, we made up stuff. Like, we have to, do some sort of weird stuff. We have to, wink at each other. It's not, I don't remember exactly what happened. But, you feel like you have to do something. And the takeaway, I think, is how powerful that is when you use eye contact during your presentation. When you look at someone, they're expecting you to do something, expecting you to say something important, and you will have their attention. You use it to make your point for 5 to 10 seconds, and you speak to someone else. Any other thoughts on that particular exercise? Renee?
I may have cheated a little bit because I just kept counting. So I wasn't I'm looking at the person in their eye, but I'm not focusing on being connected with this person. I'm just like, 1, 2, I got this. 4, I got this.
Who's your
And then I'm
partner?
just like tapping.
Okay, all right.
But I don't know how he felt.
How did you feel?
He
I
knew.
feel awkward. Just the same. I was counting when you said there's only 20 seconds left. They were like, feel like more than a minute.
Okay, so you were awkward. I think that it's interesting. So Renew, if she was the presenter, she was awkward and she was counting, and you felt awkward in your own space too. Maybe you could have thought about how awkward she was feeling, and that would have made you feel better.
Probably. That was
Yeah. The pressure's on her, not me.
I think somewhere around halfway, maybe 30 seconds, instead of taking shallow breaths, I started focusing on taking a deeper breath, and then somehow just the eye contact became less awkward. So I think when you make it awkward, when you yourself feel awkward, the recipient also does. But when you as a presenter kind of calm down and take a deep breath and hold it, then it doesn't necessarily make it as awkward.
Yes, yes. So if at least one person can be calm during this interaction, and if that's you as the presenter, that could help your whole audience. And deeper breaths too. After 30 seconds, you realize, I gotta do this. Let me just calm down and get through it.
The giggling stopped somewhere after the 30 seconds.
Okay. Okay.
So I have one question.
Yes.
So is there a technique, when you're that close making eye contact, should you look at one eye versus the other? Should you go back and forth? That's kind of awkward too. So it's almost like if you can find a focal point.
Not if it's a lazy
If
eye.
you look at like the middle.
Yeah.
Not if it's a lazy eye, you don't stare at that.
John?
Well, that makes
I've done
sense.
this with
John?
somebody who has a lazy eye once, and it's very distracting.
Okay. All right. So what? Well, let me.
That's in a way.
Okay. Okay. What's it? So let me answer Al's question. There's no real takeaway about how you can do this in real life because you won't ever do this in real life, hopefully. But this is just a chance to push the envelope to get us comfortable staring at someone for 5 to 10 seconds while we're actually talking. And this is an extreme example of how that expectation of action can help us, and it's not actually something we would do in real life. Emily, you were saying?
I was on a play once, and my teacher told me to do this exercise with somebody that has amblyopia. So her eye was like just drifted the whole time, and I couldn't do it. It's just, she's my friend, and like we were just laughing about it. I was like, this is very distracting.
Okay, so how did you feel about the eye contact exercises? Do you feel like they would help you connect during your presentation?
But I'm definitely gonna feel awkward.
You'll feel awkward anyway? All right, well let's try it. Everyone sit down and let's try Emily once again. So I thought of you for both sets of exercises, Emily. I want to see you in zip zap zoom position with the slight bend in your knees, ready to push something at us or receive something from us. And I also want 5 to 10 seconds of eye contact. Okay, one person and you move on. All right, go for it.
Hi, my name is Emily. I, like you, am a student at a business school, and I am a lifelong learner of Spanish. I want to tell you about how learning Spanish can help you in your professional career.
Okay, stop. All right. What do we notice a difference? What's the difference?
She seems a lot more relaxed and calm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh.
distract you by standing up.
No.
More relaxed and calm? What else?
She holds the contact. She holds the eye contact.
Yeah, she did. She took my note, but did it actually make a difference in her presentation? Did you say this one was much better?
Yes.
And why? I guess we'll just stop with much better. Okay. I like that.
You were addressing us rather than just speaking about a topic.
Yeah, I noticed a world of difference. Did it feel different?
Yeah, I feel calmer right now.
Okay.
I was forced to listen to them.
Oh, yes, forced to listen to her. Okay, excellent. How are we doing for time here? What is it? It's 8 o'clock. Do you want to take a quick break? 8 o'clock already? Are you serious? We're having fun. All right. Jameson. Can we keep going? Let's keep going? Let's keep going? All right. Jameson. Where's Jameson? He's gone. All right. Nick. I noticed a slight lean back, and I also noticed that you were going fast. And I want you to try the 5 to 10 seconds of eye contact. And it's not going to slow you down a lot, but see if it slows you down just a tiny, tiny bit. Sure. Go for it.
I'm going to try to do it on visual. So my name's Nicholas Lara, and today I'm going to give you 5 reasons or 5 ways to better improve your LinkedIn presence. Okay? The first way to improve your LinkedIn presence is to become a member if you haven't already. Second way would be to make some valuable connections with other LinkedIn users because it is a professional networking site. The third way to increase your presence in LinkedIn would to be connect with people you know.
Good stuff. All right. Differences between this presentation and the first presentation.
Much slower.
All right, it is much slower, but is that better?
Yes.
Why is it better?
I can understand it better. Clearer.
Okay. Understand them better? Clearer?
You need
Marilyn?
more time to process what you were saying.
More time to process what you're saying? Okay, now I gave you 2 notes. I said slow down and use eye contact. Sometimes so it's hard to take credit for the eye contact exercises. Maybe just telling you to slow down made that difference. But eye contact does slow us down a little bit. And I loved your first presentation. I love your second presentation. The difference is your first presentation was boom, boom, boom. Here's information. I'm like, okay, that's information. But this time I felt like you were really giving me something serious rather than just a well-timed infomercial maybe. The first one is just a well thought out, you know, this is what I see on TV. This I'm actually talking to someone who's giving me something really valuable. All right, have a seat. All right, Vishali. My comment to Vishali was, she talked about a very important, serious subject. She had good body language. She had some eye contact, but I felt like longer, more consistent eye contact could take that serious subject to the next level. 5 to 10 seconds per person. Show us what you got.
Hi everyone, my name is Vaishali Kataria. I work in drug safety. Today I would like to talk with you about medication errors in the hospital environment. I chose this topic because this was something that a dear friend of mine experienced a few months ago. Did you know that medication errors are the third most...
All right, stop for 1 second. All right, just loosen up, roll the shoulders a little bit. All right, I feel like I've compromised some of your casual body language. So let's try a relaxed zip, zap, zoom type of position. All right, give me a zip, yeah. Slide it in the knees. Yeah, okay. And all right, stabilize the feet. All right, bounce that. Yes, okay, go. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Vaishali Kataria. I'm going to talk with you about the very important subject, medication errors in hospital environment. A few months back, a dear friend of mine had gone through this episode in a hospital, and it made me think about to learn more about medication errors. The medication errors are usually, they occur in hospital when the drug is dispensed, when it's administered, or when it is at the time of discharge. Did you know that medication error was the third most reason for the deaths in the United States?
Okay, let me stop you there.
Okay.
We notice difference? I did. It was subtle, but I noticed especially as she was looking at Marilyn, that she was telling her something that she could understand. Like really taking time to educate her. That's the sense I got with this second run. Mike.
With eye contact, are you better jumping from one side of the room to the other? Because it almost felt like you were looking at a couple people over here, but I don't know how the people over there felt because it seemed like you were looking that way a lot of the time.
Okay, so we want to spread the eye contact evenly. Fair point, absolutely. And this was, I threw a lot at Vishali quickly. I said, try the eye contact stuff, and then I threw the body language stuff at her. So, you know, it's not going to fully vest. But I felt like there was definitely some improvement there. But sure, she could take it a little bit further by continuing that good eye contact.
Did you guys feel left out?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think for most people so far, they've been neglected.
Oh, this half of the room has been neglected?
And a lot of the lean though is to this side too. So if people lean to this way, they look that way.
Lean to this way, look to this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stand over there.
Oh, maybe
Oh,
because you're
oh,
going to
oh,
That would be it. You are
To be in the middle.
Sorry. Okay, Shruti, did you have a comment?
Yeah, so that is one of my questions with eye contact in general. How do you not make the rest of the audience feel left out when you're talking to one person? Probably that's why I scan the room and not look at one person, which is a bad habit. But, you know, I'm just asking, like, if I were to focus on Al, how do I capture Ellen's attention or something?
All right, let me try this. We're gonna stay up there. We're gonna have you go again. All right, and I'm gonna direct you with eye contact. I'm gonna point at the person I want you to look at, and we'll see how. Let me position myself. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stand here. This is gonna be a little awkward, but I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna point at the person I want you to look at. All right, ready to go.
Hi everyone, my name is Vaishali Kataria. I am going to talk about the medication errors in hospital environment. Did you know that medication errors are the third most reason for deaths in the United States? medication errors happen when a drug is dispensed, when it's administered, when the drug is given at the time of discharge. And, it's the main point of the presentation is that when you are in a hospital, have a friend or an advocate to help you and be advocate for you.
Okay,
Oh,
all right, you can have a seat while we debrief
One
that.
question I do have is I've received comments in the past I use my hands a lot, so today I really try not to use my hands.
Well,
In the first presentation, because I started doing this and then I caught myself and I said, okay, I'm not going to use my hands. It will distract people. So that feedback I really wanted from the class, especially on this side of the class. No.
Sure. I have a few ideas, but yeah, anyone have an answer for Vishali? Al?
I'm sorry, I was going to comment on the eye contact.
Okay, well, what I say for the hand gestures is you want to use hand gestures for a specific purpose and then put them back in the holster when you're not using your hands or a good resting position. And I feel like you lost a little bit of your free, comfortable body language when I brought you up the second time. So I would say when you want to make an important gesture, do it with a purpose. Did you know that medical errors? No. Did you know this? And then back to this. I feel like you're a little bit too much closed off now, but just use them for a purpose and then resting space. Use them for another purpose, then resting space. Eye contact comment, Al?
I was just going to say, that seemed very effective by the way it was kind of random in one part of the room, then you selected another part, so it made everyone feel included by kind of covering it in different
Oh, right, I forgot. So Shruti, how did that second run look?
It was better. I understand now, but when I'm presenting, if I'm looking at one person and saying, this is the third leading cause of death, I want to make that impact on everybody, not just them. You know what I mean? So that's where I struggle. So that's why I'm talking to you when I say something important instead of one person. I don't really know, but that's what I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
How to fix that.
Okay, so let's brainstorm. You guys have an idea of it?
Well, I think what threw me about that particular line is that it had you in it. So not only that, she kind of turned her whole body to be talking that way. I could tell
You person?
Yeah,
One person.
Yeah, that's exactly what it seemed like. It's like, oh, okay, well, she cares if this person knows, but not necessarily the rest of us.
Okay, so the 5 to 10 second rule, it's not something you must do all the time. It's something that I recommend doing a lot of the time. To your point, maybe when she sang that line, she could start out by looking at someone else, and then open up to the rest of the audience. Did you know that 1 in 3 are the third leading cause of death? That might be an appropriate occasion for a pan across the room. I would agree with that. Say?
For me, the big takeaway from this is, like you just said, the eye contact's important, but if you were to do the whole presentation with 5-second eye contact, I think it would be a disaster, because you wouldn't be engaging the entire audience. I think you use that as a tool to get people's attention, and then even, I see you do it, sometimes you do the long eye contact, but then sometimes you just do that 1 second eye contact, and just that quick one, and then sometimes it's the whole audience. So I feel like if you had a combination, that's what's effective. But doing just one of them the whole time, like if I look at the whole audience the whole time, or I did the 1 second the whole time, or 5 second the whole time, I don't think it could be effective.
Sure. All right. Well, why don't you show us?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it right, but I'm trying my best. Okay. What I want to talk to you guys about is a topic that I think a lot of people nowadays, okay.
Can I direct you with eye contact? Do you mind?
Sure.
Let's do that. Okay. All right. Go.
Okay. Today, boxing isn't really a big sport. It's not that popular. It's not as popular as it used to be. But just 2 weeks ago, one of the greatest boxing legends of our time, of all time, passed away. And for those people who haven't had the opportunity to see him in action, I want to spend the 60 seconds to convince you to go watch some of these videos, some of the boxing videos.
Okay, stop right there. So what do we think of that very last iteration?
I felt like his body language was open. He wasn't closing it off and completely facing one person, so it felt like he was addressing us all, even though he was clearly making eye contact with one person at a time.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a good hybrid.
Yeah, Jim?
I think he was a lot more nervous because I feel like you were more focused on staring at the right person, not just a person, and so you started to forget because like you were like definitely very authoritative on that subject. What 20? Well, probably like an hour ago, and now you're like, it's almost like you were forgetting everything you had already told us like twice now.
Okay, so you felt it was less impactful that last time than the first time?
Only because he was directed, I think, for specific people. It's funny because I could tell like you would like immediately like just turn to whoever it was like.
Okay, that's fair. I felt it really, just when he got up and started, I put him in an awkward position. Okay, now I'm standing up all of a sudden and I need to remember what's going on. And I felt like he just completely opened up when he said, okay, let me just look at this person and this person and this person. Now we're getting a presentation, now we're getting meaning. But Jim's comment is fair as well.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that too. Like, it's only because I was being directed. I was like watching for you to switch, and then I'm like, am I looking at the right person? So I don't think it's so much about the 5-second switching, but it was just the director, which wouldn't happen in real life. Right?
Okay.
You wouldn't have someone pointing.
All right, so,
I have a question.
yeah, sure.
When you're switching between people
Yeah.
to get that eye contact, how long is that switch? Can you look down or up for caught your thoughts? You know, how long is it that you can look on the floor before someone catches you not looking at them?
Yes, you can look down on the floor to collect your thoughts. How long can you do it for? Not too long?
Right.
More than a second?
Would you recommend not talking while you're collecting your thoughts? Like sometimes, you know, there are not important things, just filler like and also, but, you know, those are not something you have to look at one person a day. It's just like, I'm talking to Al, let's say, and, you know, medication error is the third leading cause of death, and then I'm thinking, I look somewhere else, like the chamber or something, and then pick up my next thing and talk to Emma. You know what I mean? It's not constant eye contact, but
Yeah, you can definitely look down. I think 5 to 10 seconds per person is the good rule of thumb. And it also will help you think about how you're engaging with your presentation. So if you need a minute to think, then that's okay. Of course that's okay. Actually, why don't you, Shruti, why don't you come up and do a demonstration? And remember, I remember especially yours, you were looking like straight at the back of the room. So take as much time as you feel you need to look down, but when you're not looking down, look at a specific person for 5 to 10 seconds.
Okay, I forget my presentation. Yes. So I'm here today to convince you to not text and drive. Texting is a visual distraction, a manual distraction, and a cognitive distraction. What I found interesting is when you're texting and driving, you're 6 times more likely to cause an accident than when you're driving drunk. That's pretty alarming to me. And also, not only does texting cause crashes, some of those crashes can be fatal, so there is a risk of death as well. And also, besides crashes and death, risk of dying, it's also illegal. So 46 states out of 50 states have banned all texting in their respective states. And the fines are actually pretty steep if you get caught driving while texting. And despite all those...
Good, stop. So you didn't really look down at all. Did you feel the need to?
Yes, because I did not say some points that I wanted to, so because I just wanted to look at the next person and go to the next point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, I wanted to mention so much more, but I needed to look down to think about it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's first ask the class, how did we like the second run versus the first run?
She thought this part of the class was missing.
She what?
I thought she didn't look on this side of the class. She was
Yeah, I
constantly
noticed that
looking
too.
at that side a lot more.
She was looking.
I just picked the first in
Yeah.
order, honestly.
I knew she was going to come to me after him.
Okay, well, so at least she got half the class this time. Maybe, Daniel?
As an audience, or at least person speaking, I might not catch everything you say. but when you hold your eye contact, then, you know, I just know you know what you're talking about up there. So when you do come to your conclusion, I'll believe whatever it is you say. So I think the fact of holding the eye contact more than hitting every single, you know, point you wanted to make may be more value sometimes. Just a thought.
Okay, I mean, I liked the second iteration as well. I thought the eye contact added more, and I'm with Daniel. I didn't know that she missed some points, and it didn't really matter to me. You don't have to say absolutely everything the exact way you planned it. Just think of your purpose. Your purpose is to tell us not to text and drive. And if you're connecting with us and convincing us to do that, then you've been successful. Liv?
I would like to suggest that when you look at the people very close to you, you spend less time. When you see people pretty far from you, you actually see the broad range. So you can spend more time when you see the far people.
Do you have any closing comments? You can keep talking as you sit down.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're not going to make you talk anymore.
Okay, no, I'm
So go ahead and see.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Good. So, all right. So there was the balance there. Shruti said that she didn't look down because she felt she needed to make eye contact, and I liked it. Daniel liked it. The people on this half of the room may not have liked it as much because they didn't get as much eye contact. But there's a balance. She forgot some things, but it didn't matter to me, and as she gets used to making consistent eye contact, maybe she'll remember most of those things. Dan, sorry.
Instead of looking down, can the technique just be to not focus on anyone when you need to trust your thoughts? Because, I mean, looking down disengages from everyone, but looking at no one, well, at least you're looking in the direction.
Yeah, just like you say was commenting that I do. Sometimes I'll look up and off to a different direction. That is perfectly fine. All right, David, can we get you back up there, and can we see if we can?
Whoa.
What does it mean? Oh, is this a fire drill?
It's the motion sensor.
Yeah. Kind of a nice mood lighting effect. So David, I liked both sets of exercises for you. So if you concentrate on a stable zip, zap, zoom position, you're much less likely to give us a nervous twitch. And also eye contact will help you focus on the audience and rather than what might be going on with you. All right, so good zip, zap, zoom position. Go.
I want to tell you about one of the best young pitchers in baseball, if not the best young pitcher in baseball. Noah Syndergaard plays for the New York Mets, and he is currently the third best pitcher as far as ERA concerned, and the second best pitcher as far as WHIP. He's a big Texas man, 6'6", 240 pounds that can throw the ball 100 miles an hour. He's impressive to watch, and he doesn't just throw a fastball. He's got 3 other pitches to get you out with. He's throwing 71% of his pitches for strikes, which means he's getting the ball and he's throwing it down the middle and challenging batters. So you don't have that boring baseball watching him fiddle with it, right? He's up and he's attacking people.
Good stuff. All right, what do we think? Brilliant. Yes. So you were stable. You didn't have any twitching going on that distracted us. And towards the end, you just got a little excited about what you were saying. And that's what I was waiting for. I want to know how we can get something that's not distracting and still see an engaged speaker. And I think we saw it right at the end. Do you all agree with me? Yeah. All right, Jose. We've got some pacing going on. All right, I love that you opened up your body language. All right, but zip, zap, zoom stance. You can move a little bit, but move with purpose. The, whatever it was, the eye contact switch places exercise, remember that? That was an opportunity to move a few feet for a specific purpose and then stop. You can do that during your presentation, just not random pacing. So I want you to either completely still or move with purpose like that. Does that make sense?
All right. I'm gonna talk about Groupon. Groupon is a daily deal website offering a discount for a variety of goods and services. The company was launched in 2008. It's the fastest growing company of the decade. It has over 45 million actual customers today.
Good. All right. I think we got enough. What do we think?
Yeah.
A lot better? So it's better when we're not doing nervous pacing? It's better when we're engaging with eye contact? All right, that's all. This is not like rocket science chemistry. This is just a few simple points. Okay, Mike. Sorry about that. Mike, remember we talked about how, or I talked about how I wanted you to slow down just a little bit?
Yep.
And I think that eye contact will force you to slow down just a little bit. Give it a shot.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about why Rutgers Business School is a great choice for your MBA. I'm going to give you 5 different points. Point number 1 is distinguished reputation.
Oh, stop for a second, Mike. All right, roll out the shoulders. You look a little tense. All right, just imagine you're playing zip-zap dip. Zip-zap's in position. All right. And you're doing a little bit of swaying back and forth. So I want all your energy directed at your audience, not back and forth.
Okay.
All right, go whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to tell you about why choosing Rutgers Business School for your MBA is a great choice. And I'm going to make 5 different points towards that point.
And Mike, is it okay if I direct you with eye contact? Can I do that? Okay, go.
First point, this distinguished reputation. Rutgers has been around for 250 years. It's actually one of the colonial schools. There's only 8. Let me start over. Okay. Distinguished reputation. Rutgers is a very distinguished school. It's celebrating its 250th anniversary, so it's been around for a really long time, and everyone knows it. Point number 2, it has great flexibility. The part-time MBA program allows both weekends and online classes, and you can take classes on up to 4 different campuses. For the third point, it has new facilities. Rutgers has established or paid $165 million over the last 10 years or invested into the business school. You can tell that they're very serious about their program. Number 4, an excellent return on investment. Not only is the tuition for Rutgers relatively...
Let me stop you. I still want to get rid of that slight swang. That's just throwing me off, and I think it's throwing you off as well. So it doesn't matter if you get the points in the right order. In fact, you could just talk gibberish to us. Just as long as you're not swaying back and forth. Can you give it a shot?
Yep. All right, so new facilities. Rutgers just invested $165 million in their facilities, which shows they're very serious about their business program. Number 4, excellent return on investment. The tuition is very reasonable at Rutgers, and...
Good. Awesome. You're on the right track. All right, so let's keep that steady posture where you're not swaying back and forth. I want you to extend the eye contact longer, like awkwardly longer, like maybe even 30 seconds per person. The reason I want to do that is I feel like you're giving me a presentation. It's not really you. Talk casually to me and stare into someone's eyes for 30 seconds and talk to them. So we'll do 3 people, 15 seconds each, and then stop.
Okay.
Don't sway, 15 seconds each.
Okay. First point I would like to make was distinguished reputation. Rutgers celebrating its 250th anniversary this year, which means it's been around for a real long time. Everyone knows the name. Great flexibility is the second point. Rutgers now offers part-time classes, full-time classes, and you can take classes on the weekends or online. And you can take classes on up to 4 different campuses. New facilities. Rutgers just spent over $165 million investing into their business school program through 2 facilities, one here and one in the Newark campus.
Good. Excellent. So we noticed some difference. Right? Any comments on that last iteration?
You were louder when you were not moving. So it's like you put that energy into speaking more forcefully.
Okay, excellent. Nick?
I was gonna say, when you started off, your eye contact was still going kind of shifting, but towards like midway through, I think you finally found a focal point, and then you were jumping.
Yeah, I agree.
slightly,
Felt a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I think it just took a minute to warm up, but definitely keep doing something.
Okay. So at this point, I want to take some volunteers. Just get a couple more people up who haven't been up for a second time. And maybe just, this is your chance to practice those weird body language exercises. Go ahead. So let me look at my notes. New, give us something. I wrote, give us something. So I want you to imagine that you're throwing a big imaginary ball at us. And I want to see if that focuses you a little more on us and less on why you might be nervous. Does that make sense?
Okay. I don't know. You guys will give me constructive criticism later. Hello, everyone. My name is Renu Varghese. I'm here to talk to you about cardiovascular diseases and why they're so bad, but the fact that there's also a blah, 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 because I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Am I throwing a ball somewhere?
Good, good. Okay, so I'm sorry I wasn't clear on that, but some very good things happened while you were making that iteration of the presentation. You had open, relaxed body language, and you were talking to us like you were having a sincere conversation. Did she lose any of her credibility about talking about this science stuff during that iteration? Did any of you think, oh, because she's not throwing facts and figures at me? No. She's having a more casual conversation with us, but it was more engaging. And what I meant by imagining that you're giving us something, imagine that there's an interplay between you and your audience. Imagine like you're throwing a big imaginary ball at us. That's physically giving us something. At the same time, you're figuratively giving us something valuable. And it's important information about heart disease. So, as you set up and get ready for your speech, right? Good, stable, open body position. Just think what you might have taken away from that space substance exercise where you were pushing an imaginary ball at us. There was a dynamic interaction that you were pretending during that exercise. That interaction still exists because you're giving us important information. And having that physical engagement, I think will not only improve the effectiveness of your technique, it will make you less nervous.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sort of, yeah, I think so.
All right, well, let's try, all right, so back up just, you're a little too, yeah, there, okay, good. No, forward, yeah, there, right there, okay, all right, good. Let's throw an imaginary ball at each other. All right, wait, I'll catch it, okay. Okay, good, oh yeah, okay, good. Now start your presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renu Varghese. I'm here to talk to you today about cardiovascular diseases and how to prevent them with just simply a healthy lifestyle. There are so many factors that go into cardiovascular diseases. 3 of the main factors are high blood pressure, smoking affects it a lot, and where was I? What was the third one? Cholesterol.
Stop. All right, what do we think?
Ah!
Yes. That's awesome. Ricky said awesome.
Oh, thanks, Ricky.
Yeah. So did that,
No, she
Jose?
feels more comfortable now.
Yeah.
After the whole exercise, I think she feels more comfortable with everybody here.
Yeah,
I wanted
I
to
think
do
so
the rest of
too.
it.
Wait, what?
I wanted you to
Yes.
Oh.
They were disappointed that I stopped you because they were so engaged in your content.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
People-
This is like my biggest fear.
Believe it.
I think a lot of us, but.
Believe it or not, people want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
People are, yes, I'm so
But
glad
I feel
that
like
you're
it's
talking.
about like when you actually believe that you have something valuable to give to the other person, and it's not about you, it's about the message, it's about them.
Yeah, you sounded much confident.
Yeah.
All right.
And Saeed just said it. He's like, I wanted to hear the third point. I think Shruti said it too. Excellent.
Thanks.
So someone else who hasn't gone a second time? Yeah. All right. Now Marilyn, let's see. Relax. Come forward. Longer eye contact.
Hi everyone, I'm here to teach you how you can become a track star at any age. If you ever wanted to begin a career in track and field or continue as an older athlete, you have an opportunity with the USA Track and Field Organization. They offer a yearly national championship where the first 3 places will get a medal in their event. So the first thing you need to do is review the registration statistics and see which event has the least number of competitors, and that will increase your odds of actually placing. Second is you select an event, but also understand what the rules are so you can compete and finish the event successfully. Because no matter how few people are
Go ahead and move. If you want to move, move.
No matter how few people enter that race, you won't win a medal if you get disqualified. So one of my recommendations is the 5K race walk, because it's a familiar distance because of a lot of the charity races that are going on. But one thing is that there are rules to race walking that you have to understand. So once you've selected your event, you've assessed your competition, then you can go online and register and complete all your required membership fees, and then
Good. Let me stop you there. All right, I have some good stuff going on. I wanted to just take it just even one level further. I think if you would walk a little bit towards your audience during a couple points, we would have seen even more of the good open body language that you had going. Any other comments on that second iteration? Nick?
Very relaxed. It was a very humbling presentation. Like you seemed like you cared really, not only about what you're talking to, but the people you're talking to. And you used a lot of facial expression this time. The first time I think because it was a little more nervous, it was kind of more like tense, but you actually threw in a lot of smiles and little quips here and there, so it was nice.
Michelle?
I was going to say the same thing. I noticed her smile this time, and I don't know if you did that last time, but I just did not notice it. So it seemed like you were smiling the whole time, and that was pretty good.
Yeah, and I think the difference was substantial, partially because of eye contact. But I wanted you to take it even further because I'm greedy. I wanted everyone to say, oh wow, I feel like just a little more movement would just show us how much more relaxed you were this time than you were the first time. Relaxed, controlled movement, in this case, will help us. I think we had some discussion about when do we move less and when do we move more. This is one occasion where she has relaxed connection with us, and just a controlled movement would show us that. Good.
I looked at everybody in their eyes today.
All right, who else do we do? And it's yes. All right, okay, what have I written down? Head back to the right, a little bit of a sway. Okay, so instead of head back, imagine someone playing the Zip Zap Zoom with their head leaning back. Now, when we play Zip Zap Zoom, we want to head forward, ready to control that. So give me a slight bend in the knees. Yes. Let me get in a better viewing position back here. Okay. You look like you're leaning to one side. Yeah. Good. Yes. Okay.
It's uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to talk about childhood obesity and how to prevent it. I have a 9-year-old, and I've been through obesity with my child. So I feel that nowadays with parents, we got to watch out for a few things with our kids. So the first and foremost is portion control, the sugary beverages, and time on TV or video games and things like that. So if you watch out for all those things, you can probably prevent and help them do much better healthy living lifestyle. Start going out and doing more physical activities with them. Play soccer, throw a ball, go
Good. Let me stop you there. All right, comments on the second run for Ricky?
No leaning at all.
No leaning?
It was very uncomfortable, let me tell you. It was like...
But did it make a difference to our audience? Yeah. And I want to point out one thing I saw at the end. She brought her hands a little further up, and I just felt that engagement. Felt like she was ready to deliver something important to us, and I just saw her body language get a little more focused on us. I'm not just saying that because I want you to go home thinking what a great exercise Zip Zap Zoom was. I'm saying that because I sincerely felt that made a huge difference in her presentation. Nick?
The eye contact, I think, really helped with the head movement back and forth. So when you were focusing on something, you weren't like
Oh, okay.
So I think that eye contact is the biggest.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, so anyone else who wants to go again, may go again at this point? We're good? Okay. Great, so I don't want to force anyone to go again because the people that went were pretty good. And I just like to bring up enough people so that you can see that it makes a difference when you start thinking about an active, engaged body position with, say, Zip Zap Zoom. And it makes a difference when you make consistent eye contact for 5 to 10 seconds and then consistent eye contact with someone else. So great work. Thank you for bearing with me those exercises. Hope you got a lot out of it. Next week, I think, is a treat. One, you don't have any homework for next week, if I remember correctly. And two, it's going to be a shorter class. We should be out of here maybe an hour and a half next week. We're just going to go through some writing style, technique stuff, and we're going to talk about your email or your corporate memo exercise that's going to be due the following week. So look forward to doing that with you and seeing you next week. Thank you. Good work, Jose. Thank you. Thanks for contributing. Appreciate it. It's often a world of difference from your initial presentation, just when you started facing us, makes a huge difference. And then when you stop facing, you were listening to it. Yeah, something like that. Okay, you can just watch the video. The slides will be posted. There will be a couple things you want to listen to just as I go over the exercise or the memo the following week, but it could be fun. Okay, good work. I hope you enjoyed that.
It was hard, but getting there.
I just want to make sure you got my presentation.
I got it over email. Can you submit it over Blackboard though?
I uploaded at the time. You uploaded the course content, right?
Huh, that's interesting. So you uploaded something on Blackboard.
Yeah.
So where?
I don't know what is it. This is my first time.
Okay.
My first class.
What? Yeah. No hurry. However long it takes to figure out. But currently, there's nothing submitted under that assignment. I think what you do is you'll click on that assignment, and it will say, I don't know actually.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'll go back and try again.
Maybe somebody can help us. Do you upload stuff on Blackboard?
This is my first semester too, so I'm not really